What is up, everybody? Welcome to the second episode of the All Sports, Only Sports, and Nothing But Sports show. I'm with my boy Sikander John again, aka Drops Review Keck.
Thank you very much.
Welcome
for having
back, bro. Yeah, of course. Today we're going to talk about the playoffs. Week 17 was crazy. We're going to do a little recap of that. Let's get started. All right.
So we aren't going to talk about all the games, but rather some of the important games. Is that
Yes.
right?
Yeah, exactly. Just a few of the games that mattered. You know, all the teams that are out of the playoff. They're irrelevant. All right, why don't you get started, bro?
All right. So first game I want to talk about was the Browns versus Steelers. Browns got a very close W. It was 24-22, and this game did not have Big Ben in it, and yet I was really surprised how close the Steelers were able to play in this game.
Yeah, that was crazy. You were surprised how close the Steelers were able to play this game?
Well, yeah, I mean, like, because considering their quarterback wasn't in.
Oh yeah, for sure.
They played pretty well.
For sure.
Their backup Mason Rudolph got 315 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. And had it not been for a failed 2-point conversion at the beginning of the game, we could have been looking at a very different result.
Right.
Maybe one that didn't even have the Browns getting into the playoffs.
Right. Baker Mayfield did enough.
Yeah.
I think he should have done a little bit more. 12 for 27, 196 yards, 1 touchdown. Decent performance by him. I was hoping to see more of him, but he just did enough, like I said. Nick Chubb had 14 carries for 108 yards and a TD.
Nice.
So he's performing well.
If they want to get anywhere in the playoffs, I suggest that they just hand the ball off to him.
For
and
sure.
Hopefully he'll deliver.
For sure, yeah. Like you said, it shouldn't have been that close of a game in my opinion.
Right.
The Browns had every opportunity to do as well as they could have, but they didn't.
True.
Yeah. Washington versus Philly.
Oh man, that was a really controversial game.
Oh yeah.
Washington ended up winning that game 20-14, and they were able to secure a playoff spot. But there were a lot of people that were mad.
Right, because the Giants, right?
At the Giants were mad at Philadelphia,
Right.
in particular Doug Peterson, because of his decision on who to start for their quarterback. Obviously, Jalen Hurts began that game but starting the fourth quarter, their third string by the name of Jason Sudfeld began starting the game. And this was a really important game for the Giants because they beat the Cowboys. So that meant if the Washington football team lost, they would have been going to the playoffs and hosting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But Washington won, so they won't be getting into the playoffs, and instead Washington will be.
I thought it was an incredibly entertaining game.
Right.
I would have never thought a team with a losing record would be division champs, but here we are. Just shows how mediocre the NFC East is.
They actually call it the NFC least.
NFC least.
Yeah.
Oh man. Alex Smith was good in the first half, but the Eagles kept applying pressure.
Right.
And he just crumbled.
Right.
Same with Jalen Hurts. It was an offensive game first half, and then a defensive game by second.
Yeah. There was
second quarter.
There was one stretch where there was an interception by both teams.
Yeah.
And then there was a fumble by the third string quarterback, Jason Sudfeld.
Yeah.
It was just an overall really ugly game.
Right.
And like I was saying, a lot of people are mad with it. So mad that they're pushing for the NFL to launch an investigation into this because they're thinking maybe there was a reason as to why, like a different reason as to why Doug Peterson sat Jalen Hurts out and started Jason Sudfeld. Obviously, this wasn't an important game to the Eagles at all because they had been eliminated from playoff contention. But a lot of people wanted to see different results.
Right. They wanted to see the Eagles winning.
Right.
But, I mean, we saw the game. Yeah. I don't think it was that controversial.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts was playing really, really crappy.
Right.
I think the coach made a decent decision. But, it's week 17. It doesn't really matter to anyone besides the Giants fans.
Well, I mean, it does matter to a lot of teams, just not the Eagles.
Right, exactly. Dolphins versus Bills.
Right.
Bills demolished the Dolphins.
No Ryan Fitzpatrick available.
Right. Only Tua
had an okay game. I mean, he only had a touchdown, and he had 3 picks, which is not that okay.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he did have 361 yards in the air. I was surprised to see Josh Allen start, but I think the reason he did start was because going into this game, the Pittsburgh Steelers were number 2 in the AFC. And the Buffalo Bills were number 3.
Yeah.
And so when Big Ben sat out and the Steelers lost that game and the Bills won, they had the same record, I think. And obviously, since the Bills won a couple weeks ago against the Steelers, they broke that tiebreaker. And now they're the 2nd seed in the AFC.
That's crazy,
And I
man.
think the Steelers did that on purpose so that they can match up with the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
Because they've beat the Cleveland Browns one time badly when Big Ben was there. So maybe they're hoping for an easy wild card win.
Maybe. Yeah, Josh Allen. There are people calling this a human rights violation on Twitter.
Really?
Yeah.
Because of just like how he murdered them, or what?
Yeah, exactly. That's crazy. I mean, we predicted this. We knew that if Josh Allen were to start, they'd win. And he didn't even start the whole game.
Right. He sat out after the second quarter, right?
Yeah, a little bit for the second quarter. And yeah, 35 for 58, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. Josh Allen, 18 for 25, 3 touchdowns. 1 interception that he threw in the beginning of the game. Like literally first 5 minutes, I think.
Right.
And yeah, he almost had a perfect season with 0 interceptions.
I want to talk. Really?
Yeah, just until this past game.
Wow.
Yeah.
I want to talk about Tua for a second. So, he's like a really high, like a rookie, and he's at times lived up to the hype. A lot of people are saying Tua is to blame for this loss, kind of.
Yeah.
Do you agree with them? I have to disagree because, 1, he's a rookie.
Yeah.
2, there was no training camp at the beginning of the season before the season started.
Yeah.
And 3, unlike the quarterbacks you see, like Justin Herbert, who have like been dominating the Chargers' like quarterback position.
Right.
Tua had to split that with Ryan Fitzpatrick at times, and I don't know, it was like until week 8 or week 9 where he got his first start. So I don't think he's to blame. I think he has a lot to learn from this. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't think he's to blame either. The Dolphins were just not playing good as a team. There were lots of defensive mistakes. There were lots of offensive mistakes. It wasn't just on Tua. There were throws that Tua threw and the wide receivers couldn't catch.
Right.
So it wasn't all on him. And like you said, he's a rookie still.
Yep.
He hasn't had the amount of practice he should have had. Yeah, that's about it. I feel like, I don't think any team would have done good against Josh Allen's performance that night.
And as you know, that's who I have coming out of the AFC, I believe.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What game do you have next?
I have the Titans versus Texans. This was a surprisingly high-scoring game.
Mm-hmm.
I personally didn't think that it would end 41-38. And
I didn't either.
It ended on a field goal. And Steven Gostkowski, who's their number 1 kicker, got COVID, I think. Yeah. So we saw Sam Sloman, who's a rookie, and he kicked 37-yard field goal, game-winning field goal. And it wasn't
for him.
Yeah, it was when he kicked it, it bounced off the goalpost and then it went in.
Yeah,
so
talk about crazy.
Luck. But Deshaun Watson had an amazing game. He had 365 yards, 3 touchdowns, and only 1 interception.
For sure.
And we got an average game from Ryan Tannehill when it came to passing, 216 yards and a touchdown. But he did run for 2 touchdowns and 38 yards. Derrick Henry also ran for 2 touchdowns. But
250 rushing yards. 250 wow. Yards,
and that put him above 2,000 rushing yards for the season.
2,027 to be exact.
Right. And that is the 5th highest rushing season ever in NFL.
Wow. And it's 2nd consecutive season with 2,000 rushing yards and above.
He only had, I think, 1,500 last year.
1,500? Yeah. Oh, okay, never mind. That's still 2nd consecutive season as being the league rushing yard leader.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
that's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy, wow. Man. Ryan Tannehill's a beast.
Yeah.
I mean, not Ryan Tannehill. Sorry, Derrick Henry's a beast.
Yeah.
It's impossible to stop him.
And now they have home field advantage against the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, which we'll talk about.
Yeah,
about that game.
All right, and then last game is the Cardinals versus the Rams. So Jared Goff was injured for this game.
Yeah.
So we saw
John Wolford.
Yeah, John Wolford in his debut NFL game.
22 for 38 yards with 1 interception and 0 touchdowns. But he did have rushing touchdowns, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about. No, he didn't have any rushing touchdowns.
Okay.
But that first pick came on his first pass, his first ever pass.
Wow.
So I guess he learned from it. He didn't throw any more picks, and he threw 231 yards after that. So props to him.
Yeah, he's a decent mobile QB.
Right.
But throwing wise, not so much.
The Cardinals lost this game 18-7, and that could have been because of Kyler Murray stepping out. And then coming back in the fourth quarter. So had he maybe have been healthy and not have gotten injured, maybe the results would have been different. I don't know.
For sure. I think they could have won.
Right.
They could have won. Yeah, but Kyler Murray, he just hasn't been the same the last few weeks, last month and a half maybe.
He's still a young quarterback. I mean, this is only his 2nd year, and they almost made the playoffs.
Right, but I mean, I was expecting more from him, especially after that. Hail Murray they called it.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Hopefully they'll get into the playoffs next year.
Yep, hopefully.
But that's about it for a recap for Week 17. Let's talk about the playoffs. Let me pull up the bracket here. All right. First game, Colts vs. Bills, Saturday at 10:05.
Mm-hmm.
Predictions for that together, John.
So obviously, I'm going with the Bills. I have them winning 34-27. Josh Allen is going against a really good Colts defense.
That's true.
I think he'll be able to push through.
Right, absolutely. I don't think the Colts could stop them.
Right.
Offensively, they're not as strong as they are as defensively.
Right.
But yeah, I just don't see the Colts doing that much damage to the scoreboard.
Right. According to ESPN's matchup predictor, the Bills have a 67.5% chance of winning this game, and I have to go with that 67.5%.
Yeah.
Because
sure.
this is the same Colts defense that let the Steelers come back from 24-3 to win it, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's just Josh Allen. He's a beast.
Right.
He's a beast. Stephon Diggs is a beast. There's not much they can do against them.
All right. And then the game after that is the Rams versus the Seahawks. So that's your team.
Yeah, which the Seahawks are going to win.
Okay.
The Seahawks are going to win. Russell Wilson's getting better and better. Well, he was really good, and then he was like, and now he's getting better, you know?
You think they'll win even if Goff starts? Obviously, for those you might not know, Jared Goff does have an injured thumb, and he did get injured, I think, 12 days ago or something. So
yeah, about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, about 2 weeks ago. So I don't know if he's going to be coming back or not. So we might be seeing more of their second string quarterback.
Yeah, if it's a second string starting, I don't think they have a chance to win. If Jared Goff is starting, the Rams. Yeah. If Jared Goff is starting, I don't see them winning either, to be honest.
Right.
The Seahawks have beaten them before. They could do it again. The Seahawks have a great defense now. Jamal Adams, and if Wolford were to start, Jamal Adams would not let him run. Okay, and then he'd have to rely on throwing, which he's not that good at. Yeah.
I think we can't sleep on the Rams defense either, because the Rams defense has been really, really good these past couple weeks.
That's true.
There was one of their players, Troy Hill, and he's either gotten like an interception or a fumble in his last couple games. But despite that, the Seahawks still have a 59.1% chance of winning.
Yeah. My prediction is that for the first half, it's going to be a slow defensive game. And then second half, Russell Wilson's going to click in like he always does.
So like how it was a couple weeks ago, right?
Exactly.
I have the Seahawks winning this 23-16.
I think yeah,
that's low scoring, but at the end, Seahawks come on.
That's a good prediction.
Yeah.
Buccaneers versus Washington.
Right. That is the last game of Saturday, by the way, and I feel like Tom Brady, he's back in the playoffs. He's there with the vengeance.
He has experience in the playoffs.
Everyone counted him out, and I think this is the wild card team to watch out for,
Yeah, for sure.
The Bucs have a 73.6% chance of winning against the football team.
And I think that should be a higher percentage, dude.
Right. You think so?
Yeah, Washington is not good.
Their defense is good, but their offense is like non-existent.
Exactly. And the Bucs defense is pretty good.
Right.
Yeah.
They have Alex Smith back, but then again, he's a little shaken up because of all those injuries and whatnot.
Exactly.
I have Bucs winning this 30-20.
I'll say Bucs winning 27-14.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
27-14.
27-14.
Yeah. Ravens versus Titans.
Oh, I think this is the most closest game of all of this week.
For sure.
ESPN's match predictor gives Ravens a 62.7% chance of winning. But I think it's going to be a little closer than that.
Oh, yeah, for sure. This is going to be a close game. Ravens, more specifically, Lamar Jackson, he has something to prove this year.
He does. He is 0-2 in the playoffs.
Exactly.
And he's 0-2 against his last two games versus Tennessee. And it's not necessarily Lamar's fault in some of those games. Either Tennessee's been really good or, it's something the defense couldn't stop Derrick Henry.
For sure.
But yeah, hopefully he proves what he needs to prove.
Yeah, I want the Ravens to win, but I think the Titans have a higher chance of winning.
I think so too. If they can't stop Derrick Henry, that's going to be a big problem.
Exactly.
But at the same time, if they do stop him and they force Tannehill to throw like they did against the Packers, or like he had to against the Packers, I think maybe Baltimore could win, but
maybe. I mean, the Ravens' defense have been really good this year.
True, they have improved,
but I don't think they're at that level to stop Derrick Henry.
Right.
I still think Derrick Henry's going to get 150-ish yards, which for him is like a normal game.
You think he'll have like one touchdown or
at least one touchdown?
I think the Titans are going to win this one 34-30.
That's a good prediction. Yeah, that's a good prediction.
So
I
the
agree with you.
next game, which is on Sunday, it's going to be a morning game. It's the Saints versus the Bears. The Bears barely got into the playoffs, and while they have been playing better the second half of the season, I think this is it for them.
That's it. I don't think they're going to get any further than this. The Saints are a good all-around team. Drew Brees is doing better now that he's back from his collapsed rib cage or whatever, collapsed lungs. The Bears' defense is okay.
They are.
But not okay enough to, stop Drew Brees and his team.
Right. The Saints do have a 78.9% chance of winning, which is by far for this week the highest percentage chance.
Yeah, I think they're right about that. What's your score prediction?
I think that the Bears will stop Brees for a certain amount of time, but then their defense is going to be tired because their offense, the Saints' offense is going to be on the field for so long, so the defense is going to get tired. Yeah. And eventually it's going to kind of get out of hand, and it'll be 30-20 in the favor of the Saints.
Yeah, I think that's a good prediction. All right, last but definitely not least, Browns versus Steelers.
I'm really excited to watch this.
Oh, yeah, for sure, man, for sure.
While the Steelers have a 67.9% chance of winning, are you that confident in them?
No, not at all. I think the Browns are going to win.
I'm not confident in them.
I think
the Browns are going to pull off an upset?
I think the Browns are going to win.
Okay.
Baker Mayfield's off a win,
Right.
He's confident.
Keep in mind, this is his first playoff game.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Obviously,
and his coach isn't playing. His coach isn't going to be there because of Corona.
He's not going to be there because of COVID. Yeah. Right.
I don't know, man. I think they could pull this off. I really do. Baker Mayfield has something to prove.
Let's see if he has that playoff mentality or not, because obviously this is his first playoff game.
Well, it seems that it's unlikely that he'll do well because he doesn't play that well under tough situations. But I don't know. I feel like this could be one of those games.
Right.
And the Steelers, they're good, but you know what I mean.
I know what you mean. Yeah,
they're good, but they lost 3 games back to back.
They can be inconsistent.
Yeah, exactly.
Times. And I really want to see more of their deep throwing, not these little 5-10 yard throws.
Exactly.
And speaking about the Browns, I'm not sure if the Steelers will be able to shut down their run, which is like Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. Right. But if they do, that's going to really force Baker to throw a lot, and I don't know how well that's going to go for him. I have the Steelers winning this one 34-27. What do you have?
I'll flip that. 34-27 Browns.
Okay.
Yeah.
You think the Browns are going to put 34 points?
I think so. I mean, they've done it before.
On the Steelers, though?
No, but I think they could do it. Well, no, actually, let me think about this. I'll say 27-20 Browns.
Okay.
27-20 Browns.
Okay. You have that much faith in the Browns defense?
Yeah, I do. Okay. I think they can do. I have faith that Ben Roethlisberger isn't going to perform as well as everyone thinks he is.
Isn't or is?
Isn't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that's the wild card matchup. Obviously, in the second round, we'll be seeing the lower seeds from the AFC and the NFC be playing the higher seeds, which are the Chiefs and the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, and we'll just go from there.
Yep.
We'll go from there.
Sounds good.
Yeah, so that's it. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure to like and subscribe. Leave a comment if you don't agree with us. Promise I won't be mean. That's about it. Thank you guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much for watching.
Yeah.
Peace.
Peace.